Final Fantasy versus Bruh. That's right, it's Zanmaru, a.k.a. Vortex, or Vortex, a.k.a. Zanmaru, whichever way around you want it. It's going to be Vortex, one of the M4C players, who's at M4C right now, on his Smurf, playing up against Bruh, a formidable Age of Empires 2 player who has been on the grind in 4. Let's see if it's starting to pay off, as he's going to be up against one of the best players in the game, as it stands. I mean, there can be no contest in that. Not just the fact that like they're at M4C, but also, you know, the Craft Bros, Lucifron and Vortex. I mean, they must own like half of the Smurfs in the top 100 at this stage. So you know that they are formidable opponents, no matter what you're playing against them. But this matchup's exciting because France, in theory, like historically, you'd favor them, right? Like even against the Abbasids on a map like King of the Hill, you're like, damn, they will rip their opponent a new one. But I'm intrigued to see what Bruh can do. Because Abbasids, I would say this is not an easy map to play at the moment. I think it's very tricky. You deal with very limited wood, which means like later on the siege, it can be a little bit troublesome. Getting the influx required for multi-TCs can be a little bit of a struggle. And all the while, you're going to be under fire. You do admittedly have the protection of Spearmen and Phalanx, so like you should be able to, in theory, buffer off the French player in the early phase of the game. But my issue is like there's so much open ground that a slow static unit like Spears should in theory struggle to protect your eco lines. So kind of intrigued to see what it's going to do here, because I will say now, this is not a short game. I'm not going to spoil how long it is, but I noticed it wasn't like a one and done. It wasn't like a 15 minutes and a quick cigarette later, or like, you know, in a more realistic kind of comparison, half a minute and a quick cigarette later situation. This one really goes on. Got to be careful not to say cigarettes too highly. You know, you say it too loud, you might summon Mister out of nowhere. But opening-wise, Bruh, of course, 3 on the gold. Just looking to tap into a quick time in on Unlucky Feudal. Because really, like, you want that little bit of flexibility around Feudal. And you get it a lot quicker now than you used to for the Abbasids. Remember, they did buff the research times on your tech ups in the House of Wisdom, not learning, from 120 seconds to 105 seconds. It doesn't sound like a huge difference, but it really is. It actually brings you in line to a comparative with a lot of other civs now throughout the game. One important detail, by the way, and you guys might have noticed it, is that Bruh has not gone onto the berries yet. This is very surprising. The Abbasids, they get a phenomenal boost to their berry gathering speed, up 30% over other civs. And also, with a mill, doubling the capacity of this. This could be because of the worry about the French Knights coming in early, but I think even in the initial phases, there's quite a lot of value in getting onto this berry line. Maybe the limitation in his mind is Bruh is assessing this, is saying, look, yeah, I might get like 2 minutes gathering time on the berries, and it's really good to begin with, and I could fall back to the safety of extra babas underneath my TC. But if I go out there and I spend that wood, that's going to slow down my timing on my House of Wisdom slightly, and also I have very limited wood. So he's trying to make a conscious choice here. I think he's trying to balance his wood economy. Like, you see how limited the trees are. So logically, they're like, okay, I need to make sure every choice that involves wood counts. Otherwise, it's going to cripple me a few minutes down the line. So tech ups on both sides underway. Vortex, a long way off in his tech up. Bruh is looking like he might beat him to the punchline with this. Quicker unlock, and then that means, of course, fresh foodstuffs will allow you to get the cheaper villages, only 25 food instead of the 50. No movement on the stone just yet. Not too surprising. I think Bruh kind of wants to see what Vortex is going to do before he overinvests into eco. Otherwise, it becomes very heavily punishable. I think you at least need to have a racks down early, anticipate your opponent is going to look to push you. But look at this. So Bruh does go back for the mill now. This is a very interesting like balance to his economy and the way he done it. I think like in my view, like, you should always be on the berries almost as fast as possible, right? Because the logic is also getting this mill down is going to unlock wheelbarrow. You can unlock wheelbarrow as soon as you got the resources. But more importantly, like, you want to be able to have this fallback plan. If you're up against a civ like France, you want as many sheep left underneath your TC as possible because, well, when the horses come riding in, you better have sheep to count. Because otherwise, you're just going to get assassinated when you have to risk going out to more dangerous economy because you've got barely any sheep left underneath your TC. So I feel like that's a little bit of a misplay from Bruh. I'd love to know what his thought process is with that. Like, I know you're up against French Knights, and I would have understood if you never went for these berries, but you have. You've gone for these berries when the French player cracks Feudal. The good news, at least, of course, is that he'll be able to get the racks down and get some initial spears out. My concern is the stretch, right? You've already got a scout harassing your gold line. You're going to need 1 or 2 spears down here in case knights right in. You're going to need probably 3 or 4, I'd say, to feel comfortable, just in case you get multiple knights come in. They'll clap 1 or 2 spearmen on their own. And more importantly, like this berry bush line, this wood line, like, there's so much exposed. I think Abbasses love a lot of these open maps right now, like Dry Arabia, because when you talk about wood lines, it's very padded and protected, right? If you have this giant wood line like this, for example, and you start doing the crescent and you push in, you've got a natural defense layer. Look how undefendable this is. Knights see it and like, I'll just get a wrap in. Oh, I come on the north side. Oh, okay, I'll come on the south side. And it only takes a few seconds because there's nothing to this tree line. It's a pins. That's an Oliver Twist tree line. That's a please, sir, can I have some more? But no, boy, you will not get any more in this situation. And he's already halfway through it. Oh, this is going to hurt. He's going to need to be ready. He's going to need some sort of switch over. And it has to be said, the generation has not been nice to bro. I mean, the north side, it's about as open as a porn star's legs midway through a movie here. It's not pretty. It's not pretty to look at. South side's a little bit better, but there's still this north side that's just a giant concern. I'll have to see what his plan is. As I said, this is definitely not ending anytime soon, but he's going to need some sort of solid plan. Already, looks like Vortex is padding himself for later on. You can see he's moving out, picking up the deers. Easy piece for him. But Bra will not have it so easy. Everything he wants is going to be a lot more hard fought for. Like, initial harassment isn't heavily there. You can see one knight shifting in now. Vortex isn't going to overinvest in this, right? The problem comes down the line. Like, where do you go? I still am so paranoid about this north side for Bra. So I'm really curious. It is now going to be the stone move. So notice he's saving enough wood from this very tiny wood line. And he's going to the stone now. And this is going to allow him to now branch to the south side. This is the good part. This is the thumbs up. Because this is a very defendable area. This is what I wanted to play towards. It is still a big risk with your north side. Like, in theory, this could come back to bite you in the ass later on in the game. Because it's such an open ground that Vortex can take advantage of. And if he builds up a siege force, keep in mind, this is where your House of Wisdom is located. You lose your House of Wisdom, the game feels over. So, interested to see what he's going to do. Also, he's going to want to try and daisy chain this, because remember, with the House of Wisdom, like, you want to chain in as many buildings as possible, so you unlock the Golden Ages. So wherever he pushes his TC, he's going to have to still branch it in, and I like that he keeps it close. He's getting access to the wood line. He's got the buffer at the back with the deer that he can move on to with new villages easily. And more importantly, he can just link this all in with just one house. So this will be good for him. Still a lot of room to expand to the south. I wouldn't be surprised if it's free TC play for him. I think the longer that he doesn't see hard aggression out of Vortex, the more confident he's going to be. And the reason he doesn't see aggression is look what Vortex is doing. This is great. This timing is really unexpected. Like, France, they don't do this often. I imagine Bra has to suspect it's going on somewhat, right? Like, you haven't really been aggressive. You've seen one knight in your base so far. But this is phenomenal timing. And the fact that he went pro scouts with only like one knight in the field and he didn't get punished for it is incredible as well. Really well played by Vortex, and he's going to unlock access to the man-at-arms quickly. Double racks going down. And just to recap, folks, that these are games being played by the Smurfs. I think this game was played today. This is not live, but I believe this one was either today or yesterday. So the whole concept here is we're taking a look at a lot of the games that the players are playing while they're there at the moment, right? They're the practice games in between games. But Bra, he sees the tech up too late. He moved in with the spears, but not really able to find the value. He'll try to turn onto the gold, but too quick to move away. And that's problematic. You're now a whole age behind. Yes, you do have the 2 TCs, but remember, you're up against France. France is like, it's like 1.4 TC, right? So the difference isn't as phenomenal as you'd think. And you can see that Bra, although he's only 2 villages behind, he will eventually surpass his opponent. It's not going to shut out Vortex quickly here. And now, with this tech up, like, I don't think Bra can afford to go 3 TCs. There's no way, right? He's still gathering the stone, but I feel like this could be a bait for him if he goes 3 TCs. Instead, I'd love to see him just prep for a castle of his own. Because if he gets castle age timing, when he sees his opponent has trip racks, you're so happy, dude. There's a smile crawling on your face because you're Abbasids. You can just build Mangonels. If he wants to mass man-at-arms, he's just basically building a giant gravesite because the Mangonels will smash him instantly. So really would love to see that play out of Bra. I think the longer he hangs around in Feudal, the more window of opportunity Vortex has to win this game himself. Spinning in again. Vortex. Whoopsie daisy. The man-at-arms are just being ignored. The poke's coming out. No textiles yet. Vortex, a lot of heavily injured villagers, but none are going to die. Really important detail there. So this small Vanguard force not really finding value for Bra. And Bra still not ready for a tech up. I think he might be going for an additional TC. There it is, yeah. I was looking, I was like, the stone, no, I saw that number a few minutes ago. So it's going to be another TC. Not in a great location either. Like, he can use this to protect the north side. He can actually extend farmlands here. But the wood is gone, right? So there's not, like, intrinsic value in here. I would have preferred maybe a push south into this open, valuable land that he's already walled off. But maybe he felt like he needed the layer of protection. He's even dropped an outpost here. He understands where he's weak. So well identified by Bra, but still, like, this TC is very greedy. And it means that Vortex just gets away with what he's been doing, and now he gets to punish Bra, because he's going to have these man-at-arms that are not countered for at least another 2 to 3 minutes. Possibly even longer. Although I do have to give credit to Bra, this push of Spearman constantly is cannon fodder, but it's a distraction. And it's an annoying distraction because you can't catch them, right? 1.25 compared to 1.12. That's what you get for putting on too much armor this morning. But more importantly, like, it's not only that you're slower, you have to chase them, right? You can't ignore it because it's going to keep going for your eco, and you've got a lot of heavily injured villagers now. So there's a lot of time where Vortex would love to be prepping on the edge of Bra's base that's being wasted, pointlessly chasing units that you can barely touch. The Spearman will start to get clapped, but like I said, it's the fact that how much attention is he drawing. A lot of these man-at-arms are not riding forward. It's just one man-at-arms, maybe two, sitting in Bra's base. And the Horsemen are now going to come out, and I think Bra, yeah, he's just going to double down this. So because he's gone for the free TC, like, you can't, there's no option to quick tech, right? So instead, if you just play into Horsemen with surplus food just being generated, you can at least just keep pressuring your opponent. The difference is, like, with the spears, it distracted, but it wasn't going to kill villagers. Horsemen are going to chase down and eventually kill villagers. And I love this play out of Vortex now. He's like, okay, fine. If this is what you want to turn the game into, then I'll do it too. Only I'm already a tech ahead. I'm playing France. Like I said, 1.4 TCs, really. And now I'm just going to drop another TC. So really the differential isn't as high as it would be with other civs, because although you have 3 TCs to the 2, the French are producing villages much quicker. You ever get that feeling this is about to turn into, I'll show you my TC if you show me yours, and he's just going to drop a 4th? There's no way Bra drops a 4th TC, right? Like, nuclear deterrent in TC form, right? Like, that's what this would turn into. Oh, you've got another TC. Oh, I've got another TC. No, I think he'll stop at 3. Yeah, there we go. Sensible. He's going up now. And it is going to be Culture Wing, no Military Wing. Sadness. Makes sense, though. Like, the camel stuff seems nice, but unless you're playing camels, whoop-de-doo. He'll come back for the Military Wing in Tech 4. The Culture Wing's just too good. I mean, honestly, that right there, guys, that's what it's about. Preservation of knowledge is fantastic. Scales so well into the game as well. I think they're planning to kind of rework these techs as well. They talked about it a little bit on one of their streams. Like, right now, it feels very locked in and obvious what you do is the opposite. There's not really much flexy in terms of choices when it comes to the wings. And there it is. Second TC. Vortex prepping it. Right at the back of his base. Plenty of wood to chip through there as well. And notice he doesn't hang around the stone. He's like, I don't need more. That's good enough. And then man-at-arms in the meantime are being frustrating. It's denying a lot of food eco in a delicate time for Bra. I think Vortex done this intentionally, like from the logic that he understands his opponent is teching up. And he understands that, like, he's going to be very food budgeted right now. So just garrisoning all these and taking fights in the meantime and diving deeper, shutting down the economy means that once Bra gets his tech up, he might not be ready to push it. And instead, he's going to be pushed to the limit. These man-at-arms, the torch damage definitely adds up. Outpost going to be burnt down. Spears able to shift away. Half of them going to be lost, though, as they get pinned in. And this is where you split up to look for clues. That's what I like to refer to it as. And Bra, he will finally have that tech up, but his military infrastructure, how's it looking? Yeah, he's got the double arch range, triple racks. He's going to be prepped for this. Still no way for Vortex to really get in and do that kind of decisive damage. These Hardened Spearmen have definitely served their purpose, but their job is done. They can rest now. It's time for someone bigger to take over. It's time for the man-at-arms. The crossbows as well, most likely. Yep, already being prepped. So, for the moment, Vortex is having his fun. But not for too much longer. Although he's definitely extracting value elsewhere. You're seeing he's just shifting out in the deer lines like yoink, yoink, yoink. Really just unhindered. Bra will finally discover what's happening back in Vortex's base. Vortex still vastly behind, though. 22 villager lead now for Bra. And this is the problem. These man-at-arms, he needs to get in these outposts. It's a half commitment, though. He never sticks to them. He will always find an odd villager here or there, but he just needs to get in, reach in, and strike down, chipping away 5 villagers at a time. That's when he can really start to turn this game in his favor. But now, it feels too late. Man-at-arms with the crossbows out, and all of a sudden, not really much you can do. And you'll just be picked apart. And this is a transition point. I think you need to change. The man-at-arms was cute, but it's not serving its purpose any longer. You need a new unit type, and you need it soon. In the meantime, I think I know what's coming next from Vortex. Well, I said he needed a transition, and he agrees. He says, oh, KB, you're very wise. You're very wise. You seem to know your high-level gaming. This is very impressive from an Englishman. Let me show you what I need. Oh, what is it? What's it? Another TC? Oh, another TC. Okay. I see what this is turning into now. If you can't beat his ass into the ground in 20 minutes, join him. As he's definitely going towards that third TC. 400 stone collected. And that will allow Vortex to catch up. He kept it, he shrunk that gap, if you look at it as well. Like, it's only a 15 lead right now for Bra. For the moment, Vortex, is he going for it? No, he invested heavily on the wood, so drops all the stables, farms as well. The new TC isn't there just yet, but he definitely has the resources whenever he wants it. This could also be a Fort Castle drop, folks. I was expecting the free TCs. Like, I know Vortex is the type of player that would do it. But it looks like instead, he's holding on. Doesn't want to reveal even to me what he's going to do yet. It's fair to say that these man-at-arms are not really getting their value anymore. They're given value over. As Bra, you know, if this was Red Alert 2, you start to get the upgrades, all of a sudden you'd have self-healing crossbowmen because it feels like they're just butchering them right now. Oh, and the quick wall, Bra! Come on. This is why it's called Bra. You're like, Bra, do you know how to quick wall? No, you don't. Bye. Oh, missed opportunity there as well. I mean, if he quick walls him in, all these man-at-arms are dead. They can't do anything against the crossbows, but looks like we'll be able to sneak out, and it is going to be a keep in the end. So we were right. It wasn't going to be the TC. Instead, just hoards it for the keep. A Fort keep drop in the center with a monastery. Vortex is switching it up. He's like, no, we're not going there. I've had these games. Abbasids, free, 4 TCs. You want a 40-minute game, buddy. I don't want it. Instead, he wants this over by 30. And that's what this is about. Monastery to instantly drop out a monk and lock in the sacred site. But this is dangerous. The biggest issue I see right now for Vortex is siege. He doesn't have any. He has no way of getting any. And he's playing against the Abbasid. And the Abbasid, they can get it very easily. They're people. They pass down a long-lasting tradition, arcing across multiple generations of siege summoning. They don't need a workshop. No, that's for peasants and carpenters. What these people do is magical. They do a little dance, and in a matter of seconds, a mangonel is built out in the field. A ram is built. Anything is built out in the field, and they'll be able to address this keep very easily because of that. Man-at-arms in the meantime, just wasting Bra's time. And yeah, so far, he's done a good job of not revealing what he's up to, but that ends now. There it is. Sacred Site being capped. Reveals the keep as well because it's so close. And Bra will look to change up his strategy now. We'll chase him with a few troops on the north side. The wall's coming out from Vortex, but not in the center just yet. He's looking to south wall as well, so he's just trying to create a funnel point. He doesn't want any shenanigans, any wraparounds. He says, Bra, if you want this, you're going to have to fight directly for it. I love this little staging point as well. Can't use this hill against me, sir. I've ensured that. Bro, this is risky territory to be moving out like this, but he feels confident. The reason he feels confident is Zanmaru has not revealed. Vortex has not revealed what he's done now. This Horseman army he's accruing, it's hidden info. There's been no signs of this, right? There was one night in the beginning, that's literally been it. Since then, Vortex has had no interest in fielding cavalry, but that changes now. And if he does this right, he could completely catch Bra off guard, and he has. He catches him in the greedy gold expansion, and he's going to push it to the limits. He's just going to punish him fully. Boxes him in, nowhere to run and hide. Even with the textiles, they don't last long. And that expansion is going to be denied. So Bra pushed back. Vortex coming within 10 points on the eco side compared to the Abbasids. Now he's going to look to get access. Burning through the walls. He wants in. Screaming, let me in. On both fronts. Oh, this is a problem. Bra, he only has a static force. He can only react to one of these. And his only reaction right now is to wall more. Needs to buy time. However, the breach in the north hasn't been addressed. He didn't repair it. I don't think he even noticed. Bra hasn't reacted yet. Neither has Vortex. That's the only good news for him. But now he realizes, both realize, in fact, and the movement in's going to come. And Vortex will wrap straight onto the gold line. This is going to be a heavy hit into the Abbasid side. Spearmen are arriving now. Village is going to peel off. Horsemen will commit and give their lives over. But they extract decent value. A lot of villagers dead here. They will go deeper and they'll waste more Bra's time. As Bra will look to trap them in now. Double Treb coming out in the field. This is a push out. Now, these Trebs, by the way, remember, the Abbasids, they don't have the ability to build these in the field. So he did invest in the Siege Workshop. But with his economy so strong right now, he can afford it, and he needed it against the Keep. The Keep that is being perma-repaired. But 8 is just not enough. And he was thinking second. Yeah, he's going for a secondary Keep. Siege Workshop's now being built up. And he'll feel a little bit frustrated that he wasted the Horsemen like this. They would have been handy now. They're at least still raiding into the eco lines of Bra, though. They're finding value. And it has to be said, this is starting to hurt. Bra now falling behind on the eco side when he can't afford to. His military is still formidable, though. And with the Springles being out on the field, as we were talking about, it means it's going to be very hard for Vortex to counter him out. That's why it's going to be a double Siege Workshop drop for Vortex in the center of the map. But this double keep is a bigger concern. It is not going to be easy to get in. And the Red Palace as well. Bra is not ready for this. Look at his economy. It's going to take him time to catch up, but he can't afford to let up. He needs to weigh in on this sacred site now. And this Red Palace is no joke, folks. The way the Red Palace works is for every garrison unit, you get an Arbalist in there. And they do phenomenal damage. Even your man-at-arms will not last long under the fire of it. Bra now trying for a keep of his own. Few man-at-arms are going to ride out. Springles now being built en masse by Vortex. Red Palace. Hard commitment into it. 10 people now working on it. Horsemen still raiding, still not addressed. They butchered so many. Bra was distracted by the front, and it means he's now down to 74 eco. Vortex with a decisive lead now on the eco side. It means he can afford what's coming in the next 5 minutes. And Bra, that's where he's going to struggle. Oy, oy, oy. Rams as well. Bra, he needs to get in. He knows it. He can't afford to sit back and worry about his eco. Right now, he's on the clock. The sacred site is ticking him down. Red Palace, fully invested in now. 17 working on it. Treb's trying to snipe it out before it's complete. But it is standing. And it is outstanding right now for Vortex. Because now he gets the advantage. Roller shutter triggers instantly being researched. This is where Bra could falter. This is where he could suffer deeply. Right in. Red Palace firing off onto the Spearmen. Baton Ram shifting off onto the keep on the north side. Villagers looking to repair it right now. There'll be a chase in. Boiling oil upgrade is there, though. And the toss out of hot boiling magma into the face of the Spearmen is going to be a problem. Villagers will garrison for the moment. That means they're not repairing. This is a problem right now. This could be an easy decap for Bra. He smells weakness when he sees this tech up, and although Vortex does have the Springles out, he doesn't have the army now to defend them. The best they can do is trade out the siege that is here, but they've still got trouble. They've still got problems. Villagers are going to retreat away in the meantime, try to complete the wall. So they will box themselves away from the problem, but Bra has achieved a decap on the sacred site. Horsemen have finally been cleaned up in his base. Damage definitely done there, but win condition can be removed from Vortex. I say that, he didn't complete the decap. Oh, this is a problem. Springle's not able to get in range of the Treb, though. The bigger problem is that Vortex is about to lose the Red Palace. We'll try to repair it, but damage done. And now he needs the full repair. Vortex still unable to reach those trebs. That's the big deal breaker right now. Trebuchets that were seen as just a pile of dog crap not long ago, slowly but surely finding more value. The frustration of dealing with them as it's so hard to reach them. Not to mention the fact that you're playing on King of the Hill. This mountainous terrain works to your disadvantage because these hills will block your shots. Remember, the Sprimmels, they don't fire up into the air and back down again. They need a direct line of sight, and that is crippling him right now. Sprimmels, a lot of them now, 6. Vortex has nothing to defend them. That's the bigger concern here. He invested heavily in this fort base, but he didn't stage an army to protect it. After the Horseman investment, there's been nothing. And it's all because Vortex wasn't transitioned. Look at it now coming out. This wasn't ready. You can see him setting up new farmlands, and this hurt his timing so much. And it means that Bra is able to strike back, and Bra is now able to tech up. It's underway. And luckily, this is one of those situations where you feel good about being Abbasids. Because after that hit to his economy, the last thing he wants right now is villagers away from his eco, working on the tech up. He needs every single person in the fields he can get to be able to continue to field the army that he has already. The Trebs will continue on, still just unanswered. Very frustrating situation as it stands for Vortex. More siege workshops being built after they were turned to rubble on the front. Archery range is being prepped as well. It is going to be an arbitrary spam. That's going to be a strong one, remember. There's a lot of tech ups that people forget about for the French at this stage of the game. You can see it there, the crossbow stirrups, the gambesons as well, so they can actually take all the melee attacks. It's a phenomenal unit at this stage of the game. And they are already gold hatted as well, up in elite status. So Arbaletiers and Horsemen, I like this composition. It gives him a wraparound on the Trebs. The Treb army that's building up to now 4, soon to probably be 5. It wouldn't surprise me if he went that far. But Bra, like, I would love to see him actually just pull out a Monk and get the Sacred Site himself. Right now, rapping again. Horsemen have snuck in. Once more, just being a complete pain in the side of Bra as they are onto the eco lines. Bra, it just feels like he's never going to see 100 eco again in this game at this rate. Stone walls are now going up, but once again, they're being sniped as well. They're giving their life to try and protect the homeland. The homeland is already breached. And this is frustrating. Make no mistake, though. This isn't an insta in and done. This isn't a wham bam thank you, ma'am. I'm instantly going to win the game off the back of this. But it's death by 1,000 cuts. And there it is. Bruh. I love you, man. He understands. He's like, yeah, actually, I have Sacred Site control. He has to come to me. I'm just going to park this old man on this site. Going to take it as my own, and then I'm done coming into your land, Vortex. You have to come to me. In the meantime, Spearmen are going to be expended. Some value found, but really not much. You can see it now. Look at that. 50 eco lead for Vortex. Swag glasses on. He's feeling good. He's feeling amazing. Horsemen. They continue the raids. And the problem is you can't even min-max your workers. So many of them are being butchered. Their health's so low, even with the textiles. It is hurting. Slowly but surely, like, Bra is dying in this game. And that's another reason he wants that Sacred Site. He needs to force bad fights out of Vortex, but Vortex with the golden hats, ready to take this fight. Gambeson's upgrade as well. 9 melee armor on a ranged unit. It's so absurd. The Spearmen only do 11 in elite status. And the Spearmen are taking a lot more damage. The Mangonel is making the difference. The Sprue count too high. Bra is in trouble. His wood is the limiting factor right now. He can't access wood because of the Horsemen. Oh, the pain. He's got the Northern expansion, but if that ever gets spotted out, this grinds to a halt. And Vortex, in the meantime, got a bit of a limitation, but plenty of wood in reserve he can afford to replace. And Sacred Site will not be capped by Bra. A stalemate will ensue here. Oh, you know what the crazy part is? I don't know if it would change the way you think about this, but Bra right now in the chat, he says he didn't even know it was Vortex. So I don't know if that would have changed how he felt about this one. Maybe he would have expected some elements of what Vortex has been doing here, because Vortex, you know, he's not a stranger to late game. It's not that he hates playing into it. And he's sure as hell shown the strengths of French when you reach that Imperial Age timing. This outpost crawl in by Bra is going to be a whiff. It's not going to be able to buy much time here. It will delay Vortex's push in the center. And that is important because should Vortex ever get back out here and get that red pass up, he'll just recap the Sacred Site and we'll begin anew. Magas. Oh, God. What the village is doing here? Oh, I mean, it's only 4, but I say it's only 4. It's only 4 when you're still 40 villages behind. So every little counts, as they say in a nice little supermarket advert I know of. This sure as hell isn't the Asda price. I mean, it just feels so discounted, right? Like, you feel good because they only cost 25 food, but the problem is that, like, you're not killing out Vortex, right? You're not killing his villages. Everything about his economy is unexposed and safe. And that's where it really starts to hurt. And these Trebs need to be careful. They're a little bit far forward. I think they could be sniped. Does Brad know about this? I mean, he has to know, right? Yeah, he sees them. He has vision. The Spirals could punish him for this. Like, he's just parked here. It's just like, look how big my trebuchets are. And Vortex is like, yes, very nice. Well done. Did you wash them recently? No, don't wash them, guys. They're made of wood. They'll rot. But luckily for him, Vortex has not reacted with the Spirals just yet. Trebs are addressing the crawling of outposts in the north. These Trebs could spell treble for bruh. I can't believe I done that pun. I suggest everyone just tunes out now. Because these Trebs will get through this keep quickly. And then the floodgates open. And we've already seen that Bra's poor little crossbowmen do not fare well against Arbalatrias. This unit is ridiculous. You know, we haven't seen Pavisis be used too frequently. They're a little bit finicky. But even without that, it's got extra ranged armor as it stands. Yes, there's more health for Bras, but the problem is, like, your melee units can't even deal with the Arbalatrias. They have a ridiculous amount of armor due to the Gambusons. I don't even know why that, like, I don't even understand that, to be honest with you. Why do they get so much melee armor? Just cause, I guess. On Trebs, trying to breach. Bras had enough of this. Like, screw this, I'm going in. Trebs will back away. Spearmen are in. And they are in deep. The Vortex needs to retreat fast. He peels back towards the TC protection, but there's not enough room for everyone, honey. Some people are going to have to sleep in the streets. And you know what? There's a lot of very angry animals in those streets. Spearmen, in fact, just waiting to tear you apart. And they're going to run wild. Nice micro by Brass, splitting up into groups. If there's anything I've learned from Scooby-Doo, it's that splitting up and looking for clues is good. If you want to find something. And he's definitely going to find value there. However, a lot of value still in the front for Vortex. Vortex now with his Trebs anti-trebbing. Oh, and he has the count as well. 5 versus the 3. And this is pain. Bro, even misses. Oh, you know what this is? Right now, and it makes sense for the colors. Vortex, he's the Rebel Alliance. Bro, he's playing as the Empire. Because that is some Stormtrooper aim if I've ever seen one. No luck at all. Spirals will at least scare away Vortex, especially with the addition of the Culverin arriving on the front. And you can see, hear how ecstatic the Frenchmen are there. Yoo-hoo! Vortex says. As he can start to feel the ground he's gaining here. Meanwhile, the raid just about being cleaned up. Damage at the end of it. Vortex still at 125. It was a mere tickling. He's right there. Bra's just scratching his back for him. He's going low before he knows it's scratching Vortex's ass because he thought that was going to be good enough to slow him down. But the Spaniard is still comfortable with 125 eco. He says, thank you very much. That's freed up more room for military units. I was already floating way too much economy as it is. And finally, I have a way of pushing more aggressive units out. And he will use that opportunity. That Arbalatria count now up to 45. Maganel count stands at a not-so-healthy 1 for Bra. And Bra hasn't got the wood or the gold to push more. He's been pushing the Culverins. Mago's coming out. Rush in. Arbalatrias hold them back. They're trying to access the Spirals, but Bra, this micro, I mean, this click onto the back will get him into snipe. Maybe 1, maybe 2 Spirals, but everything else will be cleared up. The Spearman cannot handle the Arbalatrias. This contradicts everything we've been seeing in games, but this is how strong the French Gold Hats are. Maganel looking for that max impact damage. A lot of Springles dead at the end of it. Trades weren't too bad. The Culverins made sure of that for Bra. This one Mangonel is scaring Vortex into a corner, but he has his own Mangonels rolling out. That Mago gone. We'll move forward. Very hard for Bra. He can't Zerg hard anymore. Treb still trying for the really weird trades. Mago shots coming out. Heavy damage from the crossbow line. Bra now in trouble. The Gamberson giving the edge over to Vortex as he continues to push forward and hold his ground. Close to the Sacred Site now. Spearman not really looking that effective. 150 health. Decent cannon fodder, but not dishing out the damage they like. And although he's pushed back to the protection of the keep. And once again, Vortex will be able to hold. But Bra, with this Culverin line, he's found an answer. The Trebs are no longer safe. They need to get behind walls. If anything, Vortex needs room to put up stone walls so he can move forward with Mangonels and Trebuchets. But that comes with its own risk when Bra continues to invest in Trebuchets himself. Wood line soon to be depleted. This could be a fragile state for Bra. Luckily, he's got wood nearby, and luckily he has stone walled up. But there's still a pocket in the north here that hasn't been spotted. I don't think Bra ever knew about this. He should have, though. So if any stage Vortex invests in a few horsemen, he could shut out the wood. And if he shuts out the wood, he wins the siege. But he wants to win the main battle first. Arbalatrier is moving in. Barely any troops left here for Bra. Culverin's too close to the fire. They might get burned. They're going to be chasing, and there's a switch over on the Trebs. Damage adds up quickly here. 11 missile resistance. That's still 6 damage going through from the crossbows. And they'll try and focus on the crossbows, sniping 1 or 2 out, but they'll be sniped out themselves. Arbalatrier is now having to address the elite horsemen riding in, but just as quickly as a few horsemen arrive, double the count of Arbalatriers come in from the east. And Vortex, I mean, this is going downhill right now for Bra. Bra needs an answer, and he needs it soon. He's trying to amass the horsemen as it stands, but his front military line is going to be exposed. This production district is not going to last long if Vortex has anything to say about it. And with still Trebuchet standing, he definitely has something to say. Oh, that's starting to hurt. I mean, at this stage, I think Bra's numb to the noise of villagers dying. There's so many have died over the course of this game. And my God, the butchering that's occurred here. Doubling him up on the kills. Vortex has got to be close to summoning a tactical nuke at this stage if I'm going by Call of Duty standards. Because it feels like he's on a kill streak. Because these fights just keep going his way. Bra cannot amass the forces required to defend. The Springle's going to trade out favorably with Bombard. And the Arbalatriers are all that matters. At the end of every single one of these fights, the fact that remains is the Arbalatriers stand and everything else falls. Mangonel looking to change that fact, though. Damage is good. But horseman count isn't good enough is the problem. The Treb's still focusing on the buildings. Second Mago shot, a little bit of a miss micro there. It looked like it didn't go for the maximum power into the back of the formation. But it will force Vortex back. The concern, however, is that Sacred Site. That Sacred Site is under his control, folks. That's why it's red. Not because so much blood has been spilled over it, but because the French player is in control. And Bra, the problem he has is he doesn't have an emphatic force. He can't just move in and decap it right now. And it means at this rate, he's going to get choked out. The Trebs continue to move forward. I mean, this is just... They're not even here for the buildings, folks. How do you beat Springle range? Treb range? Well, they're not the best. I'm not saying they're the best anti-siege, but 130 damage ain't bad. If you can hit something. I feel like I'm playing XCOM right now. Miss, miss, miss. You gave me a 90% chance to hit since the bar. Miss. I mean, they can't even hit this. They're so clustered and they still barely hit anything. Oh, but Vortex, he understands what this is coming down to. It's a resource race, right? They need to keep the cogs of war turning. And now, with enough horsemen here, this is the difference. Every time before this, it's really just been the Arbalatriers. But Vortex realizes what's needed now. Horsemen, gap closes, chase down. It's all there. This composition is dangerous for Bra to deal with. If the Mangonels hit strong and hit true, though, he can win this in the blink of an eye. But Vortex, he's smart. He backs up. He doesn't give that value over. Arbalatrier just sidestepping the horsemen, chasing in now. Mago shot coming out. Decent hit there. But the dead bodies are replaced by horsemen, holding them in the choke point. And the damage is being done here. Bra's front line is falling quicker than that of Vortix's. Vortix now able to wrap around with the Mangonels. They'll be sniped out, and this is dangerous. At this stage of the game, wood and gold is depleting fast, and every single one of these siege weapons counts. Just like that, they're gone. And without the Mangonels, you know what comes next, folks. They tip their hats, they say milady, and they march in with their crossbows. The French are mighty scary. Even now having the incendiaries, now up to 20 damage per shot. My God. And you see how easy it is to pick them apart. Horsemen will hold back the counter horsemen, so not getting their bonus damage up against the Arbalatriers. In the meantime, more reinforcements arriving. And it really just feels like it's a resortment of spears, and the horsemen is something that the Bra is struggling to keep out. You know, like he seems like he should be able to afford it with that sort of level of income and the food, but it's just not there. But he can't afford to give over ground, because if the Trebs are able to reach forward, if the siege comes in, if this fort district falls, he can't keep churning out the troops. But I think that's where we're at now, because the horsemen, they're picking apart the reinforcements. The Arbalatriers are clearing up the spearmen, and now he can gap close towards this fort military district. Vortix, there it is. The Mago's now coming. He says the spearmen, they took a little bit too long to get through. You know what counts as a spear? Giant rocks falling from the sky. That's what's coming. But it's not what's coming for Bra anymore. And that scares me. His gold is heavily limited as it stands. In fact, we look at the income per minute. 600 gold per minute is not going to cut it. And a Wallalow now coming out. Uh-oh, Bra has to cut and run. And that means it's just pickings for the Mangonels and the Arbalatriers. And desperation is set in as Bra tries to get on the stone in the center. He's going to fall back instantly. But now I think we're in the decline state. The Abbasid dynasty, this is not them at their prime time where they ruled over all the Middle East. This is them stagnating. They've reached past their peak, and now they are in decline. It is the time of the French. The Mangonels that they can afford, but Bra cannot, will be the difference maker here. And with this push in, Bra can't push back. Instead, he's going to be pushed back to his primary base. And remember what we said, folks. As soon as this Ford military district goes down, you're in trouble. Because then half your buildings that are producing your front line are gone. Meanwhile, Vortix continues to accelerate. And you can see the difference in the military count now doubling up. Ford district is going to fall, and I think Vortix might have done it. I don't think there's enough left in Bra's base to keep him afloat. The keeps are going to be constructed. The Red Pass can still be reconstructed. The Sacred Site continues to tick down, and it looks like Bra has no way of bouncing back. I mean, I wouldn't blame him for just hitting GG right now. I mean, I see this many gold hats sitting in my military district. I know I'm not getting any new troops out. As soon as they come out, they're dead. And he's just held hostage. You see, like, look at all these troops. You feel good, right? Not when there's double Mangonel staring at you. He's got double Mangonel of his own, but if he missteps at all, if he loses these, it's GG. However, if he gets shots like that, it's GG the other way. Vortix backs up. Some damage done, though, and he gets the keep. He established control. That's what he was looking for. He's got Mangonels to play with. He's baiting his opponent in. The shot's coming in on a Bra. Heavy hits into the spear line. He has to retreat. Trip Mangonel, fourth one coming in as well. The edge is here for Vortix, and the cluster truck that ensues will favor him as well, with more catapults hailing merry hell upon the lines of the Abbasids. There's no way that Bra can hold this. All the spears are dead. The Corvaran rolled it right and in. They just wants to be part of the action. It's a little bit too close to the front for my liking. And the retreat from Vortix with a smile on his face, knowing it doesn't matter. That it's just an even trade. Because even if it comes out even, he comes out ahead because there's no way to decap the site. And Bra looks all but drained. Rename this man Dracula because he has sucked Bra dry in this game. 44 minutes it took. 20 minutes more than when Vortix tried for this sacred site. But it seems it will be the reason in the end, as he will force Bra out and take the victory. That's the sound of Vortix just draining Bra dry. Whew. He picked him apart. I mean, it was so trivial for him as well. So I've really got to give big credit to the power of Arbalatriers. Really well identified by Vortix. I think a lot of people forget how powerful they are at that stage in the game, but not Vortix, man. It wasn't even maximum efficiency from him when you think about it as well. How much of that was like not the best trades because it's just Arbalatriers? And eventually he realizes it. He switches back into Horseman. And all of a sudden, these fights don't really even look close. And I think the reason he didn't go for the Horseman originally is because he was just trying to, like, invest so heavily into wood and gold to be able to afford all the siege. But eventually, like, Vortex makes the wise decision, like, oh, we're both running out of wood and gold. Whoops. The difference, however, is that, like, he has the backup option of still going for Arbiter at an affordable rate. And the Abysses don't really have a comparative. See, the Abysses, one of their big strengths really comes around the creeping siege. Unlike other civs, they don't need to invest in a heavy amount of wood into siege workshops, and they don't have to have these slow production rates. They just churn them out. But you never get that opportunity in this game, really. I feel like you were always matched, and I have to give big credit to Vortex, like the double siege workshop on the sacred site after he forces Bra's hand to come out and play. The early raise just shutting down that tempo timing that you're looking for as the Abysses, because really you're looking for a crack of a quick castle. If you can get that castle at decent timing, you get the siege creep, you get control of the game, and it looks so trivial, especially when your opponent is not fielding cavalry. But instead, Vortex was wise to identify that he just needed to spam Horsemen to buy time, and he just needed to establish enough keep control that he just drags this game out to an inevitable Imperial where he knows that Arbiters will have the edge. Really phenomenally done, really phenomenal take by him, and just showing exactly how France can actually still have a lot of staying power in that hyper late game situation.